Holy fuck, I forgot how bad this movie was. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Leo's Nerd Talk, and today we're going to be going over Spider-Man 3 from 2007. Hi, my name is Leo, and if you're talking about the movie, TV show, video game related, or just anything nerdy, you are in the right place. And like I said, today we are talking about Spider-Man 3 from 2007, so without further ado, let's get into the review. Now, as we will continue on our Spider-Man review series journey in preparation for a brand new day, we have arrived at the infamous Spider-Man 3, the ending of the Sam Raimi trilogy, and holy shit, I really forgot how bad this movie was. You know, there in the back of my mind, I was like, man, you know, it can't be that bad. I have some guilty pleasure with Spider-Man 3, and to a certain extent, I still do, right? But wow, there were so many moments where I'm like, I can't do this. I gotta skip forward, and I didn't. You know, just for the preference of keeping this review fair, I had to watch the whole movie. But I just, like, there's so many times where I wanted to skip forward and just completely cut out a section that I just could not watch. It was so bad. But I will obviously give you all my goods, my pros, cons, bads throughout this entire review. But before I do, let me know what you guys think about Spider-Man 3 in the comment section down below. I know there are some Spider-Man 3 defenders out there for sure. So let your voice be heard if you are a Spider-Man 3 defender. Also, just let me know what your excitement level is for a brand new day. Let me know who your favorite Spider-Man is, what your favorite Spider-Man movie is, because Spider-Man is absolutely awesome. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into my pros. And start with my pros. I do think the action in this movie is a lot of fun in certain sections. While we'll get into the cons about the CGI, overall what the action is trying to accomplish, I do think is really fun, especially the last act where you have the big battle of Harry and Spider-Man versus Sandman and Venom. That moment are always so much fun. It's a really good battle. It has a lot of good action, a lot of good tense moments, and even the action that is very little sprinkled throughout this entire movie is still pretty good, regardless of how bad the CGI. Again, what they were trying to accomplish with it, the action pieces, and what they were trying to do to be a spectacle, I do think overall is pretty good. I do like the whole Venom somewhat thing being involved in here. The storyline itself of how weird it gets, we'll get into, but just Venom being in this movie, I do think is still a cool little thing. The score behind this film is also still pretty amazing. You know, you have the comment, I always felt like that score, now that it's more of a meme now, but it was always still a really good score as well. So ultimately, those are the good things about this movie is you have some decent action, a good score, and I do like the introduction of the villains here. I like Sandman, I like Venom, you know, and kind of a little Goblin Jr. with Harry and stuff is also a really cool storyline of how that kind of plays out as well. And also like the turmoil between Peter Parker and MJ is also interesting-ish enough. You know, I'm trying to give this movie as much flowers as I possibly can, because this movie definitely needs as much leniency as possible to really get through this movie and really enjoy it. So those are really the small little factors here and there that I tend to enjoy and keeps me moving forward throughout the movie. Is just those little action sequences, the score, some of the visuals. I do like the background story that we get with the Sandman and Uncle Ben and things like that. But overall, this is 100% the worst of the trilogy. I was not expecting it to be this bad. I forgot how poorly made this movie was, and that is very unfortunate to end some of the best comic book movies we've ever gotten in history with 1 and 2. To end it on this sour note, it is a little frustrating, but there is somewhat of a guilty pleasure, somewhat of an enjoyment factor that I can kind of get from this film. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into my cons. And start with my cons is this movie is really pretty boring. I ain't gonna lie to you. There is a lot of setup. There is a lot of things going on. There's a lot of subplots and twists and turns and reveals and changes and relationships and all this different things, all these things trying to get meshed in together for it to be poorly executed throughout this entire movie. We rarely get Spider-Man himself as Spider-Man in action in this movie. Like, if I was to count the total minutes of this like 2 hour and 10 minute movie that Spider-Man is actually fighting and doing stuff as Spider-Man, you'll probably get about 20 minutes max. That's what it really feels like. 20 minutes max of Spider-Man in a 2 hour 10-minute movie. And that's max. I'm being generous with that because there is a lot of things of Spider-Man going to the play, his, him wanting to propose to MJ, and the reveal of Harry getting injured and losing his memory and forgetting who he was, and the whole thing with the Daily Bugle and Eddie Brock, and then the reveal of who the real killer of Uncle Ben is, and the whole storyline with Sandman, and then all this stuff happens throughout this entire movie. And we rarely get any action sequences. We rarely get any Spider-Man stuff. And the way they do it is so poorly executed. It's so cringy. It's so difficult to watch. Like, especially the moment where Peter Parker is going to propose to MJ, and how MJ is just feeling like she's alone, that she has no one there to support her. And instead of Peter Parker confronting or sympathizing with her and trying to comfort her, he makes it all about himself, about, oh, it just sucks being Spider-Man, people cheering my name. And you're just there like, dude, shut up. This is terrible to watch. I can't. Let me skip through this, please. I wanted to skip like 10 minutes ahead, get out of this sequence because it was so difficult to watch. And then fucking here comes Gwen Stacy, and Gwen Stacy being all flirtatious. And you're like, oh my God, dude, please just end this sequence. And that is not the only time you feel that. There's so many moments throughout the movie where you're just like, please, God, stop it. Dialogue is terrible. There's so many cringy moments. There's just plot points that you really don't give two shits about because it jumps so forward and back between different characters, and it doesn't give itself a chance to develop any plot. By the end of it, when you get the final battle and the battle is finished and you have the conversation between Peter Parker and Sandman, the results of that is just a nothing burger. There's nothing there. It's flat. There's no resolution. You don't feel satisfied of what happens. The resolution between Harry and Peter Parker, again, something that you don't really feel too satisfied about. And by the time that battle ends as well, towards the end of the film, you're not really that sad of what the conclusion is with Harry. It's just, there's so much. The whole thing with MJ, like she kind of getting revenge on Peter Parker, or feeling a little betrayed and, cheating on him, sort of kissing Harry, whatever. And then you have Peter Parker with the symbiote, him having his little emo phase, which is one of the worst decisions and sequences in this fucking entire movie. It's bad, man. Like, it's hard to really get through this film. That whole Venom symbiote phase, black suit Spider-Man phase, it is tough to get through. Like, it's funny when you think of it as a comedy. Like, you're just there laughing at how terrible this is, how cringy it is, and it's meme to hell, but just seeing Peter Parker walking through the fucking streets, just, hey, like, it's so terrible. Like, it's unfortunate because I think Sam Raimi is an excellent director. I think Sam Raimi has a great just creative mind, and he made two of the best superhero movies of all time, two of the best comic book movies of all time, just two of the best movies in general of all time. And for that to go to what Spider-Man 3 gives us, it is a just massive disappointment, and it's just a gut punch of just how bad it really is. And that sucks. And I can go on and on. There's so many things you can nitpick. Different characters that just feel fake, relationships that don't feel like they're developing, character choices and things that just feel so off-putting. And not only is it all off-putting, it's just slow, it's boring, and you just end up not caring whatsoever. And that is very unfortunate because I love Spider-Man. And if this Spider-Man movie was the level of 1, I think 2 is obviously the peak in my opinion. If the level of Spider-Man 1, this could be one of the best trilogies of all time. But because of Spider-Man 3, you just taint that. Taint it to hell. Terrible. It's terrible, I tell you. Put it on the front page of the Daily Bugle. But, I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, because I'm here like ranting. I'm barely reviewing. I'm just ranting of how unfortunate and awful this film is. But it sucks. And now heading into TASM, you know, the Amazing Spider-Man. I've never seen the Amazing Spider-Man movies, by the way, because I grew up with Tobey Maguire. So when the Amazing Spider-Man movies came out, I was like, fuck that. I'm not watching that shit. That's not my Spider-Man. So I'm very interested and intrigued to see how I'm going to fare with the Amazing Spider-Man's TASMs. Because I know there's a lot of defenders out there, and there's a lot of people that say they're the worst Spider-Mans, bar none. So very, very interested to see how that is going to play out and where things are going to go from there. But that is going to be it for this one, guys. Let me know what you guys think about Spider-Man 3 in the comment section down below. Share your excitement for a brand new day, of course. Let me know what you guys think. Debate with me in the comments. Am I wrong for thinking about this as Spider-Man 3, or are my frustrations with this movie very valid? Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And again, if you have the time, anything movie, TV show, video game related, or just anything nerdy, you are in the right place. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.